All right, here's a little update. I don't know when my YouTube channel is going to catch up to real life time, but I had plans in the last week or two to get it caught up to like current time, and then my vlogs would be in real time. But some shit has hit the fan, and that didn't happen. And so here, let me tell you what happened. Um, Today is, what is today? Today is Wednesday night. Tomorrow is, I think, November 4th. Can I see my, yes, tomorrow is Thursday, November 4th. And this day November 4th has been on my calendar for a month or two because it is the day that my soon-to-be ex-husband and I go to the Hamilton County Courthouse and finalize our divorce. I don't technically have to be there, but I felt like it was something that I should be there for, just because. Because otherwise it was just going to be like a really non-event. Well, it's turning out to be something different. Okay, so here's what happened. Not this past Sunday, not 3 days ago, but the Sunday before, so 10 days ago. Not Halloween, but the week before Halloween. I'm not going to go into all the gory details, but I ended up in the emergency room. I had to call 911 and have an ambulance come to my house at 8 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday morning to take me to the emergency room because I was having a kidney stone passing, fucking my life up. And so my daughter does live close by, blah, 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 but it was Sunday morning. She wasn't awake. She didn't have her phone on. She didn't hear me. And I got to the point where I couldn't wait another frickin' minute. So, I mean, I was almost on the front lawn, rolling in the grass, waiting for this ambulance to come. I had my bags packed, my shoes on, my dog and my cats fed, everything ready to go so that I could just, when the ambulance got here, it's weird what your brain does and your body does when you're faced with a situation like that and there's nobody to say, do this, do that, leave a note, whatever. So between waves of pain, I fed the dog, I cleaned the cat boxes, I fed the cats, I packed a bag for the ER and things like that. Weird stuff. Anyway, I only spent about 5 or 6 hours in the ER that day, and I was home Sunday afternoon, 1 or 2 o'clock. I don't remember now. So, but the stone had not passed, and they gave me some prescriptions and some things and numbers to call and blah, 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 assuming that it would pass in the next 36, 48 hours, whatever. Well, it didn't. Kind of like selling my house. They tell you it's going to be one thing. All expectations are it's going to be this quick, easy, well, maybe not easy, but just this quick procedure, and then it isn't. That's kind of what happened again. So, spiral path, same lessons coming back over and over again. Anyway, I just all week just kept, hoping, whatever. Halloween comes along. I have clients I'm taking care of. I'm kind of at this point given up on the peeing in the strainer and this stone's gonna, I'm like, well, maybe it's already passed. I don't know. And then all of a sudden, I'm my last client of the day on Halloween, and I'm starting to get a backache, and I'm starting to get, a little oogie feeling. I get home just in time, about 6 o'clock, a little after 6, and there's some trick-or-treaters on my street. I run in the house, I get my candy, I put it in a bowl, all the stuff, and I'm thinking that I'm gonna sit. My neighbors across the street are having a Halloween party, which they've invited me to, and I'm hoping well, maybe I'll be able to just make an appearance and meet some people, etc., etc. Well, I'm like, well, I'm gonna sit. I don't see a lot of people going to the party yet, so I'm gonna sit on my front porch, have a glass of wine, and pass out Halloween candy because this is my first year in this neighborhood, and I have no idea. Maybe we'll have a lot of trick-or-treaters. Maybe we won't have any. I don't know. So I sit out there. I literally pour the glass of wine. I take one sip. I put the glass down, and I'm thinking. I also have a candle and my cauldron and some other things out there, and I'm gonna thinking of doing a little meditation if it's quiet, and a little burning bowl ceremony of releasing things that no longer serve me. And the first thing that I burned in my burning bowl was a scrap of paper that said, "This fucking kidney stone." I'm going to release this, whatever energy is behind this, because I feel like it is some stuck energy of this whole situation that I've been going through this summer. And also just some physical manifestations of me not taking care of my body. I started drinking Diet Coke again, and I haven't done that in 20 years. No, maybe not 20 years, but a number of years. And I just, I pushed myself really hard this summer to get moved in here and to moved out of the old house and sell the old house. And to the 3 weeks leading up to this, I have been overbooked with my business, with pet sitting and dog walking. And I've just been really pushing myself beyond, well, not beyond, but to the limit of my physical limitations. So I was releasing all of that, was my intention for Samhain. And like I said, I took one sip of that wine, and I sat there, and those little girls were the first two, I think only trick-or-treaters. If somebody came along after that, because then I moved my bowl and a little table down to the bottom of my stairs with some candles, some battery-powered candles, and pumpkins and stuff, so that if anybody came along after that, that they would be able to just serve themselves, kind of thing. I'm like, just don't take my really nice wooden bread bowl that I have the candy in, and I'm good to go. And I came in the house and I'm like, okay, you know what? This pain is getting a little more intense. I'm going to take some of the hydrocodone, acetaminophen pain pills that they gave me at the ER the week before, which I think I'd only taken once since then. So I took one and turned on some YouTube and channel thing that I was watching, and I thought, oh yeah, this is going to pass. This is passing. This is moving. I'm going to suffer. It's going to be horrible for an hour or two, but this motherfucker is going to go, and then I'm going to be done. Like, it's taken a week, but this is what it is. I'm good to go. That was about 6 or 7 o'clock. I don't know what time, probably 7, closer to 7. And right before that, my daughter had texted me and said, because I had made an offer earlier in the week, like, if you guys aren't doing anything for Halloween, if you want to come over and, sit on my porch, and if we have any trick-or-treaters, we can pass out trick-or-treat candy, and if not, we can maybe put a fire and have some chili, and just, Halloween's always been, like, my big holiday, especially with my kids. So but they had gone up to Nashville for the Saturday night before, and they were just getting home. And she's like, oh, we're just getting home. Do you want us to come by? And I said, you know what? To be honest, I'm not going to be much company because I'm in pain. But please leave your phone on and your ringer on, because I might need you. I didn't want a repeat of the week before where I had to call 911 on Halloween night to come and get me. So, long story short, about 10 o'clock, I texted and called them and said, come and get me. I have to go to the ER because the hardcore pain meds were wearing off. It was too early to take another. It was clear. And I had naively, I guess in hindsight, thought that because my experience the week before, being only there maybe 5 or 6 hours, that because this was a repeat visit and they knew why it was there, I would be in and out of there in 5 or 6 hours. Well, I was there for 12 hours. And the stone still has not passed. It's still there. And tomorrow has been scheduled for a couple months, the day that our divorce papers, we appear before the judge and finalize our divorce. And shortly right after that, basically, my, at that point, now ex-husband, will be driving me to the outpatient surgery center on the east side of Chattanooga to have this kidney stone removed. And then when my daughter and or her boyfriend get out of work tomorrow night, they're going to come and pick me up and bring me home. And I actually have a client to see on the way home, but it's a cat client, so even if I'm completely wonky, the kids will be with me and they'll be able to help me feed and care for these cats on my way home. And the owners, the client, they know what's going on, and they know that I might be a little late, and they know that might be a little wonky, but I will make sure that their cats are fed and cared for before I go to bed that night. And I hope, against all hope, with all hope, that this is the end of this situation, at least for now. I have cousins and second cousins, and siblings and nephews and others in my family who have gone down this road of kidney stones multiple times. So I'm sure this isn't my last rodeo here. And it kind of highlights some things that I need to think about as a sole proprietor of a very physically demanding career and business, as a middle-aged woman. Like, what kind of things. I mean, fortunately, all of the clients that I've had this week have been regular clients, and I have not been particularly overbooked or solidly booked this week, unlike the weeks leading up to this. So everybody's been very cool about, well, yeah, like they've been like, they're my daytime walks, that it's not the end of the world. It's just a nice little luxury that I go walk their dog. Or they've gone into work late or had a neighbor stop in. I mean, they've accommodated me, which is wonderful, which also says a lot, I guess, about the service and the value that I provide them, that they're willing to give me this grace so that they retain me as a service, because they value me. And I love that, because I adore I adore, you can book me once and I'm going to adore, unless you're like a real asshole and your dog's a jerk, which has only happened no, it's never happened. It's never happened. There's not a client I've ever had that I haven't found some redeeming thing about them or their dog or their location, or, well, man, it's always a dog. Sometimes it's a cat, sometimes it's a lizard. But yeah, I've really found something to cherish about it. And it sounds so corny and so unrealistic, because I know a lot of other pet sitters are like, oh, that person's an asshole. There's some that I would like, if I have a choice, I won't go back to again, but I learned something, or yeah, I don't know. But I've been very fortunate that this week and last week, dealing with this whole situation, I've been some of my favorite people and my favorite animals. And it's some people are like, oh my God, you're dealing with this surgical situation with this pain and all this stuff, and you're still going out and walking dogs. And I'm like, you know what? It's probably the best thing for me to get out and walk and move a little bit. And they truly do bring me joy. I have a tattoo that says, don't postpone joy. And there's a story behind my tattoo, but I had made a decision years ago, partly because of the person and the situation behind this tattoo, to seek joy, to acknowledge things, the simplest little thing, and look for joy in almost every situation. And even this last Sunday night that I spent, Halloween night, in the ER, there are moments of joy, because there were some funny ass episodes that happened that night. There was Big Dick guy who just kept screaming that the doctors were ignoring him because they were intimidated by the size of his penis and his erection. I don't know what was going on in that other examining room. Something exciting was going on over there because he was convinced that the only reason the doctors were not coming to deal with him was because that he had a enormous penis. I can't speak for me. I don't know. But, and then there was, as I probably not so kindly named her, Head Wound Harriet, who was some woman who kept screaming all night long that it was her birthday and her sister shot her in the face. There was a whole lot more profanity involved in all of that, but she kept screaming, this GD bitch shot me in the MFing face on my GD birthday. That's the cleanest version of what she was screaming all night long outside of where I was parked, basically, for the night. And yeah, one could bitch about these people who obviously are either strung out on drugs or having mental breakdowns and issues, or they can laugh. And I choose to just, I'm not laughing at them. I'm laughing at myself that I'm in this situation, and how ridiculous is it that I'm in the ER on Halloween night. My favorite frickin' night of the year, and I'm in the ER in excruciating pain. So whatever. I'm rambling, but I don't know if this will get posted before I go into surgery tomorrow. It's not really surgery. There's not going to be, I hope, any scalpels involved. It's a little, those fish with like the little dangly light over their face. It's kind of like that. It's like a little lighted scope that goes up through my urethra into my bladder, and then hopefully the stone is just right there. They keep saying on this that the CT scan says it's just right there. It's just right entering the bladder, and it just, as soon as it pops into the bladder, it's on its way out. And I'm like, well, it's just stuck there. It's not moving. So they're going to go up. They're going to go find the little hole into the bladder and go kind of like Dr. Pimple Popper, I guess, which I can't watch because it grosses me out, makes me vomit. But in theory, they're just going to grab that little stone and pop it out and take it on its way. That's best case scenario. So let's hope that's what happens tomorrow. And then I'm just going to have one less excuse to not post stuff on my social media. You know, every day is another layer peeled away. It's like we're sanding a door. We're just, yeah, that's how I spent my painful night, was watching YouTube videos. So that's a whole other thing. Oh, I have like, okay, I'm going to go. So thank you for watching. Thank you for your support. That's all I got. Okay, it is, well, it's more than 24 hours after my surgery because it's almost 9 o'clock at night. But just an update. I had my procedure yesterday afternoon. Everything yesterday went exceedingly according to plan, or even ahead of schedule. Our court date was, we were in and out of the courthouse quick and simple, no problems there. Got over to the surgical center with plenty of time to spare, and got checked in, and they took me right in. I was practically done and back in recovery by the time I was originally scheduled to have my surgery start. So I don't know if I jumped the line, or they had someone cancel, or how they got me in almost an hour earlier than I was scheduled to get in. But I still had to wait for my daughter to get home from work and come and pick me up. But it all worked out great. Last night was not rough. I wasn't in a lot of pain or anything. Nothing like I was while I still had the stone in me. But there is a stent, and so that's a little uncomfortable. And of course, for the 12 to 24 hours maybe 12 to 18 hours after the procedure, everything down there is a little angry and a little, tender, and just not feeling good. Got plenty of, I had so many prescriptions, I had to like write out like a little chart with tick boxes and times and dates so that I made sure that I was taking them, and then I took a Sharpie and wrote on the top of the pill bottles numbers so that I could coordinate it with my very old lady-ish, but hey, it works. I'm not going to be taking the hardcore pain pills on my way out the door to drive across town, or not get the right pill at the right time and end up in more pain. That's kind of what happened to me last night. I think in the night I should have gotten up, and so today I made and taken some of the antispasmodic. They have a couple different pills that I take for the bladder spasms, and kind of calms the whole urinary tract. And so I took them, but I didn't get up and take them in the night or take them like right as I was going to bed. And I still had monkey brain, and I was just kind of going through a bunch of things in my head, and I just had a hard time falling asleep. I'm back on my feet. As long as I keep up on the prescriptions at the right times and right intervals, I'm fine. And I actually have some friends with me today. Phoebe, pretty girl. This is Phoebe. Oh, and her friend. Here is Lucy. Hi, Lucy. Oh, no. You cannot jump up on my belly. That's the only thing. She likes to snuggle and get on my lap. And normally I don't mind that. But right now, that whole lower abdomen area is a little tender for little puppy paws. But I'm sure they will snuggle with me tonight and keep me warm. They're only here for one night. But they're my normal Monday through Friday dogs that I care for every week. So we're old friends. We've been together for a long time. Probably some of my longest history clients that I've had, at least 3 years. So, yep. And my cat's trying to figure it out too. One of the cats. He's just like, why is there 2 more dogs in my house? You promised me no more dogs. But it's all good. So that was my update. I don't wish a kidney stone on anyone, but this has afforded me the time today to just sit here with my laptop and edit and upload YouTube videos. So I don't know where in the order of because I have some scheduled so that I have a video coming out every day for like the next week or week and a half, or not every day, but pretty steadily. I'm all caught up on the divorce diaries. I don't know how many more of those I'm going to do because yesterday the divorce was final. And so, there might be 1 or 2, but that's probably just going to be intermixed with my vlog stuff. So, yeah, I'm just clearing the space so that there's room for new growth, good new moon energy. Had the surgery, got the divorce all on the new moon. And I'm clearing out all these old files that are on my phone and on my computer and getting them edited, posted up, scheduled. And then I can kind of feel like because I know that as soon as I'm feeling 100% again, I'm going to be at it. I want to get, Thanksgiving's coming up. I'm booked pretty solid for Thanksgiving for pet sitting. And the holidays are coming up. So every hour, every day, continues to get just a little bit better, and I'm really looking forward to having all of this behind me and see what's in store. So thanks for sticking with me. I'm finally going to have some content. It might not be the greatest content here coming up for the next couple weeks, but it's content, and then I can really get back to work and see what I have planned. We'll find out. Thank you so much.